Yo, what's good, everybody? Hip hop, Sixth Element of Hip Hop here. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is Hip Hop and Comics. This is our vidcast, our final show here on YouTube. Corey Adger Salute, what's good? This is our farewell
you
episode.
gotta, bro. It's the last one, man. You gotta do something big, bro.
Well, I
You gotta do
mean,
something big for it, man.
we
Like
are
if we,
we're gonna talk about we're gonna cover all the comics that are coming out this week. We're gonna talk about. I want to start people off. I want to leave you guys with something good. I'm gonna leave you guys with my favorite character, Wolverine. I'm gonna leave you guys with how to get into Wolverine and start reading Wolverine comics. We've got some new information on some new has come to light for Deadpool 3. And of course, we got some news for all our Marvel and Invincible and all that stuff
how do
coming.
you think? How do you think? Are we live yet? How did you? How do you think Slate's gonna take it?
Uh Listen, I mean, I think that everybody will understand that it's what we had to do for the channel. I mean, it's a migration. It's not really, we're not shutting down the show, the channel, we're just migrating. No more YouTube. Gonna be moving over to Twitch. So this will be our last show on YouTube, but not our last show, just our last show on YouTube. But I think it'll some people will take it hard at first, but we'll adapt. We'll hop over to Twitch and everybody will see. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Let me see. We are starting a little bit early today. Normally we start about 7 o'clock, but our co-host Stu Dog will be here as soon as he can, and I think Raw Talk is joining us as well. But to get started, man, the Daredevil Born Again series has some new set photo reveals and a new look at John Bernthal's return as the Punisher, because we know that previously it was announced that John Bernthal would reprise his role from Daredevil and the new Punisher for the upcoming Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again. But during production, a new image was shared revealing a close look at Bernthal. And it seems that he's recently completed a fight scene for the series, given the visible scrapes and blood on his face as well as his knuckles. But the post, which I'll show you in a second, shows or it says thank you, John Bernthal, for being awesome and taking a picture with me. It's someone that got a selfie with John, and he's all scarred up working on the Daredevil set. And it's cool to see, man. It's cool to see that they're actually working on that show and that Punisher's in it, because I know that was a big bone of contention. A lot of people worried about Punisher coming back or not coming back, but there he is. I mean, visibly beaten. And if you look right behind him, it's funny. There's a guy like with the same T-shirt and same haircut, clearly like a stunt double there in the background. I think there might be even two of them. I can't tell if that third guy with the black shirt and buzz cut is also one, but definitely two there.
That's Shane from The Walking Dead, right?
That is Shane. Yeah, that's John Bernthal. It played Shane in The Walking Dead. He said, what did he say? He said, I think there's a reason why that character has resonated as deeply and strongly as he has in the hearts and minds of our comic book fans and first responders and people in the military and people all over the globe. He said, I think there's a little bit of Frank Castle in everybody. He exits very strongly inside me, and this is a typo. He exists very strongly inside me, and I care about the character deeply. And on bringing back the character for Daredevil, for the new show, he said, I also know that it's absolutely essential that if we do it right, and we have a real sacred integrity to the source material and to what is at the core of Frank. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure of that. If and when we do it right. John Bernthal's hilarious. I could hear it in his voice. He's just trying to like reassure people. Not a comic book nerd, but trying to make people know that he really cares about it, and that's important. He reportedly had rejected the original scripts, though, for his return as Punisher, which is also a good sign, in my opinion. Rejecting scripts means he cares about what the script says. He cares about how it sounds and what the story is. So that's a good thing. And there was reports that John had rejected those scripts for the new show, and it was given a creative overhaul, basically. After heavy rewrites, the series is expected to have more connections to the original Marvel shows that first appeared on Netflix, like the Daredevil and the Punisher shows from Netflix. More character from from the Daredevil show are also returning. More characters, rather, like your Karen Page and Foggy Nelson, are coming back. Wilson Bethel also returned as Bullseye, and then Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are leading the cast as well. Daredevil and Kingpin. So that's cool. It'd be cool to see Bullseye back. I did want to see what that and how that turned out. So, but yeah, I'm excited, man, because I know we heard a lot of bad reports that the Daredevil show was not going to have Bernthal, was not going to have the original cast members, wasn't going to be at all related to the Netflix shows, the Netflix versions, and that would have just been tragic because those shows were great. Some of the best stuff that we've gotten out of Marvel, and it would just be sad if they just completely ignored that whole thing, man, because they can still make new stuff and still have build it from that same world. That's totally cool. While we're waiting on everybody to roll in, season 2 of the the Invincible came, and we got some news about not some news. We found out that Mark is basically getting his ass kicked by Viltrumites, and why he's so much weaker against this female Viltrumite. And the audiences, I think, were like a little bit surprised, like, why is he just getting beaten to a pulp by this Viltrumite? Shouldn't he be at least a little bit stronger? And some gave pause. They're both Viltrumites. But there's a few reasons why his matchups with other Viltrumites tend to be so mismatched, and it's not because he's half human. That's actually a plus on his side. But the first is that Mark is still growing, right? He's inherently is putting him at odds with other aliens of his species who are older and more experienced. I mean, that's the obvious thing. And then, of course, it's important to remember how Viltrumites can live to be thousands of years old. He's literally as old as he looks. That female Viltrumite he was fighting, is potentially hundreds or even, thousands of years old or whatever. So you can't really just go by how they look. And then, of course,
the way they did my girl Amber was dirty, bro.
I know Amber's your favorite, man. It sucks too because she was a good character, but we'll see how that ends up. But another element, I think, that of the equation is how Mark is half Viltrumite, half human. And the Viltrumite elements of his DNA tend to take dominance, but he's still not fully a Viltrumite. But like I said, his human DNA does actually give him some benefits. But with how strong Viltrumites are, it's easy to think that they don't have any weaknesses, which would definitely be an incorrect assumption. They are weak to in the comics. They've been established that Viltrumites have very sensitive ears, and kind of like Venom, right? Would be their weakness. And because of this, the entire race is susceptible to specific vibrations and frequencies that can throw them off balance and cause severe harm. Ragnar. The Ragnar are wild and ravenous aliens that the Viltrumites actually fear, notably due to their ability to tear through Viltrumites with relative ease. they have nothing coming with them. And then of course the gun of legendary alien space racer can pierce through Viltrumite flesh without issue. But the weapon lies buried on a forgotten planet, hidden by Omni-Man himself. But then there's the dangerous. They've got a plant that they're the Claxus plant is poison and weakens Viltrumites. And then of course they have all those memes regarding like sending Ant-Man into Thanos's butt, to go in from the inside. But it turns out that Viltrumites are particularly susceptible to internal attacks.
Hey, like our girl, she's still in the hospital because she shrunk down the size, got into old boy's armor, but she ended up breaking every bone in her body. So imagine a Viltrumite.
Exactly. Fresno nurse, salute. What up? Yeah, exactly. And also intense heat is another thing that the like intense heat can highly damage the healing factor of the Viltrumite, and we get to see that in a battle with two of them late in the comics when they're fighting with the warmth of a literal star. I mean, it's not like you're gonna burn them with like a lighter, but a star, a sun, like extreme heat, that kind of thing. So they do have weaknesses, but that's just some of the reasons why Mark is not quite to the level of those guys yet. Yet I say, because he will definitely get there. And there was another little. Oh, let me see if I can. Oh, maybe I put it over here. I have the. Oh, it's gone. Never mind. I was gonna say I had the guy, the menu, the TV guide, the schedule for Invincible. But when it comes out. Still waiting on Stu and them to arrive. In the meantime, man, we've got new comic book day Wednesday, and we've got some dope new titles coming up. New comics, actually new comics. Alien, Black, White, and Blood is coming out. Alien number 3 rather is coming out. That's dope to look forward to. Venom number 32, X-Men number 33 this Wednesday. Ghost Rider Omnibus comes available. You've got Avengers Inc. number 4. Black Panther number 7, Fall of the House of X number 1, and Fall of the House of X number 2. Second printings.
When did the new X-Men series come out? Like, we have the first 3. When does like number 4 and 5 come out?
What series?
X-Men animated X-Men 97 animation.
You're talking about cartoons.
Yeah, I thought you were going over everything that was coming up. Like
no.
That was...
I'm talking about comic books.
Oh,
these are strictly comic books. I'm gonna talk about that in a second, though. But these are comic books that are coming out. Fall of the House of X number 1 and 2 facsimiles. Giant Size Superstars facsimile edition number 1. Immortal X-Men number 18. Predator vs. Wolverine number 4 is here. That's been a dope series. And then X-Force number 47 is coming out as well. But yeah, man, those are just some of the. I mean, there's some other cool shit going on. I mean, Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin, but he's not the original Goblin. In Spider-Man, there's a new Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin number 1. And in that, we get to learn that the secrets of the Proto-Goblin and its dramatic connection to the Osborn family. And what role does a young Peter Parker, who's not yet understood his great power and responsibility, play in the unfolding of the events? And then, of course, we've got in the Krakoan era as it continues to fall, X-Men number 33. If there's ever time to rally the troops and take the fight to the enemy, this is definitely that time, as the X-Men are really taking it to Orcus. And likewise, the fall of X comes for Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, in Avengers number 12. The Avengers have hung in space over Earth, a sword of Damocles over Orcus, really, for too long. They've not helped the mutants. They have not been fighting Orcus, and they've kind of allowed this to go down, it seems. But knowing that they had one chance to strike, they waited while Iron Man was preparing and getting shit ready, and then he's gonna jump on them. And now, on his signal, the Avengers are gonna ride in and strike on Orcus and help the mutants out. And but that then that's it for mutants and Avengers. There's some cool shit coming out. Moon Knight, Vengeance of the Moon Knight, #4, which is
I'm excited for that one. I'm
yeah.
excited for Moon Knight.
Yeah. You've got Hunter's Moon. Yada Bader is Bader is the brother to the fallen Moon Knight, Mark Spector. But there's an imposter loose in the city and wearing his brother's face, and Bader intends to find out who they are, and by any means necessary. And then in Jed McKay and Pascal Ferry's Doctor Strange #14, a living game has taken root in Manhattan, transforming parts of the city into a dark fantasy world. And Doctor Strange and his secret defenders have managed to insert themselves into the narrative. But they're not alone. Can Strange and company learn the rules and rescue those trapped within? Or is it back to the Dark Ages for the Big Apple? And then Deadpool's New Era. We join the X-Men's Last Stand against Orcus, and more by picking up the latest titles this week on Wednesday, on April 3rd, New Comic Book Day. Lito's Way, salute. It's the first of the month. Wake up. Sir Cam Stances, salute. What's good?
I still can't believe this is the last show, bro.
Listen, I mean, everything good comes to an end. What goes up must come down, But hey, like I said, it's not the end of Sixth Element. It's just the end of YouTube for us. But we'll definitely let everybody know how to find us in the future. In the meantime, and while we are on the comics for this new Comic Book Day Wednesday, we kind of have our list of the best comics that are coming out. I already gave you the lowdown on, I think, the top my top ones: X-Men 33, Doctor Strange 14, Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin #1. And then there's Immortal Thor #9 and Batman 146 also that you want to look out for as well. They're just dope. The Enchantress of the Worlds, the son of Odin, came to the citadel of Roxxon to make war for the sake of the earth herself. But his enemies were waiting to steal from the one thing that was Thor's alone, and they had crafted the foulest of weapons to do it. And this is the story of the immortal Thor and the trap that he could not escape. I think Immortal Thor hasn't received the same kind of perpetual buzz as Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk did, which is a shame because Al Ewing is a GOAT and Immortal Thor is just his Thor. He did Hulk, he's doing Thor. And the exploration of Thor's mythology and Loki's relationship to the Asgardians has been amazing. And this month we will finally see what the deal is with the Roxxon Thor, which looks to be a darkly tongue-in-cheek meta commentary about the industry. And then Batman 146, Chip Zdarsky, what can I say? His run is pretty divisive, but you can't deny, he's doing a lot of interesting things with the Batman chessboard. Bruce is trapped in a prison that may as well be his own design, and then Zur utilizes Failsafe's body to deceive the Bat family. And we already know that Zur is going to be a major player in this summer's Absolute Power event. So look for Dark Prisons to start setting up that event soon. And then we've got some new info on new info comes to light after Marvel pulls Deadpool 3 movie from the MCU. Feige's claiming that Deadpool 3 isn't part of the MCU. Coming from his desire to produce a successful MCU movie again, which will require abandoning the diverse and inclusive garbage he's been pushing since Endgame was over, and also while not undoing any of those failing most Endgame movies have set up because Feige hasn't learned that feminism in films makes them unattractive to the larger audience. And I've got, these are just, that's not new information. That's just people's opinions. But you asked, Black Heroes, you asked about X-Men 97. And we're going to talk about that because I'm going to tell you guys about Wolverine in a minute. We're going to talk about Wolverine and how to read Wolverine the proper way, how to get into Wolverine comics, because he's my favorite. But X-Men 97 fans definitely, have reason to celebrate, as the show has just been confirmed for a third season. Not just second season, a third season. Yes, sir. Very fucking happy about that. We knew season 2 was a shoe in once we saw these first episodes, and they knew it too. So, and they've season 3 is already in development. Production for season 2 is on track with season 3 in development. And that's great, man. X-Men 97 is now the second Marvel Studios series to have 3 seasons after Marvel's What If, which is expected to resume later this year, 2025. The showrunner to X-Men 97 will remain faithful. He says X-Men 97 will remain faithful to the original show throughout, even as it explores story arcs beyond the comics. And that's that quote is the only thing that I want to mention that really bothers me. It really sticks in my side. What's so great about X-Men the animated series, and what's so great about X-Men 97 so far? What has made the show great? What has made the show not just another cartoon by Marvel is that the stories come from the comics. They're not most cartoons, right? Especially Marvel cartoons, they use the characters from Marvel comics that we all know, but then they make up their own cartoon stories written by cartoon story writers. And that's why they suck. X-Men 97, X-Men the animated series was great because those stories came directly from the comics. Those were written by comic writers. They were written by people who know how to write those characters. That's why they're great. That's why people love this show. That's why this show stands out. That's why people are like diehard about this show and have like, such a passion for it and like such, it's because it has essence, the characters, you care about them because they're well written. It's not just a cartoon. It's actually a comic book animated. Now, when I hear comments like he said that X-Men 97 will remain faithful to the original show throughout, even as it explores story arcs beyond the comics. Well, you can't do that. You can't both be faithful to the original show and explore stories beyond the comics, because what was the original show, how you're faithful to that, is by taking the stories from the comics. That was my only criteria. The only thing that I cared about for this new show, the way I said, if this show sticks to using stories from the comics, I'm happy. That's all I care about. If you take the stories from the comics, you can't lose. The only reason that they'd want to deviate from that is because they would want to push some sort of political agenda or something that is outside of just basic storytelling that they feel they need to utilize. And they just don't. Comics tell everything that needs to be told. X-Men has always encompassed and included everything that needs to be included. All that stuff is just unnecessary. But they did say, he also said, just like the original series that was drafting so heavily from Chris Claremont's work, we're continuing that. We're looking at the late 70s, mid 70s to early 90s kind of era. We do start to play outside of Chris Claremont's sandbox a little bit into the 90s, almost getting to Grant Morrison. But it's definitely just like the OG series. It's drafting from stories from the books. So that gives me much like comfort. Like that's a great statement. That's not saying anything about going outside the comics. That's maybe clarifying what he means by that was going outside of the Chris Claremont sandbox, which the original show was just the Chris Claremont stuff. But I have no problem with that. Go to Grant Morrison, go to Jim Lee. Let's have some fun. Like there's plenty of X-Men comics. As long as you stick to the comics, I don't care what comics they are. I don't. But, we can only cross our fingers and hope. But Claremont and Grant Morrison are obviously the writers that have developed a lot of the bigger, more popular stories. The Uncanny X-Men, the new X-Men are theirs, and of course, we have Jim Lee for X-Men. But he also added, it actually was kind of liberating to be able to stay in the 90s sandbox. It allowed us to go places. We could be so iterative and do so many things that we wouldn't be able to do if we were more MCU adjacent, like Marvel's What If. Oh man, I mean, he couldn't have hit it more on the head. Because Marvel's What If, the reason that show I have no interest in it is because it's what if about MCU characters. It's not Marvel's What If from the comics. When I've heard they were doing a What If animated show, I was like, oh, beautiful. They're doing a What If animated show. That means we're going to get comic stories, right? What if, or at least we're going to get what ifs made with comic characters, something. It never dawned to me that they were going to do the whole animated What If show about the MCU. So limiting, and so uninteresting, in my opinion. I have no interest. If they had done just a dope What If show with comic book stories, comic book characters and shit like that, man, I would be, every, when that show's ready to start, I'm watching, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't care about the MCU, dude. I never did. Not in the animated sense, like, and especially since Endgame, bro. I don't think I've watched an entire Marvel movie from all the way through. Like since Endgame, I don't think I've finished one.
Ooh, that's a good point. I was gonna interject, but like, yeah, you make a good point. I haven't seen a whole. What about? Nah, I didn't watch Eternals. What about Black Panther 2? That was before Endgame, huh?
Didn't finish it. Black Panther 2, I didn't finish it. That was after Endgame. I'm trying to think, really honestly, if there's a movie after Endgame that I actually sat through the entire thing.
But
Marvel.
To be fair, there's only like 3 after Endgame. There's the Eternals.
Oh, Guardians I definitely sat through. That Guardians I loved. Guardians of the Galaxy, the third one. That came after Endgame. Yeah, Eternals, no. The Marvels, no. Black Panther 2. The Namor stuff was cool. I'm not into the Shuri stuff. What else? Love and Thunder. Didn't finish that. I finished all the Marvel shows on Disney Plus, which I didn't have to.
I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so like I've seen all the Justice League animated. But I even turned off Aquaman, bro. Like I haven't watched anything since Justice League with DC Universe.
Yeah, DC too, man. I mean, we talk about that on Saturday, but DC they have I think what they've got with James Gunn coming is gonna be dope. I think it's gonna completely outdo Marvel, at least since Endgame. And if it doesn't, that's just the end of it, bro. Like it's over for comic book movies. Like DC really has to come through, because Marvel hasn't been, and I don't see Marvel changing their MCU ways anytime soon. But back to X-Men 97, it has earned overwhelming praise from audiences, especially from the X-Men the Animated Series fans. Both shows share the tone and animation reminiscent of the 90s, but X-Men 97 definitely holds its own with, engaging continuing stories. And apart from exploring Cable's origins, the last episode we got also, you know, ended by teasing Storm and Forge's romance, which could be developed in subsequent issues, you know, if the show adapts the pair's arc from the comics, because that would be fucking awesome. And they did, though, they did tweak Cable's origin a bit. That was interesting. Although with Cable's origin, his rewritten origin, I will say, it helps answer a major Cyclops mystery from the original animated series 30 odd years ago. But as we saw in X-Men 97 episode 3, the ramifications of Nathan Summers' birth and origins occur in rapid succession. It's just like boom, boom, boom. That's Jean Grey when she's pregnant. That's Cable. All right. The Jean Grey. Well, it's not Jean Grey, we find out, which I was elated to know that they weren't botching that, because in the comics, it's a clone of Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor, who is actually the one that gets pregnant by Cyclops, and they have Cable. And then, you know, later they find out she goes crazy, becomes the Goblin Queen. Jean Grey comes back, yada, yada, yada. Cable goes to the future, grows up, comes back. It's the whole thing. But what they've done, they've adapted some key elements from the original comics, and they've also provided some dope twists as well. And to that end, it does seem as though like a key question about Cable's father has finally been confirmed for those who needed that confirmation. In the original X-Men the Animated Series, Cable was a recurring character. He was in a lot of episodes. He made a handful of appearances in the first 2 seasons, but his most important appearance was definitely in the 2-episode arc Time Fugitives from season 2, where he traveled from his dystopian future to the present day. And then Cable's history and key connections to the X-Men were only hinted at. But now Cable's rewritten origins in this animated X-Men universe have finally been revealed in full, thanks to the new show, including the answer to this critical Cyclops mystery. Let me let Stu Dog in the building. Stu Dog! Wagwan. All right, we'll be here in a minute. But like I said, the origins are more streamlined compared to the original comics, right? The core beats, like Nathan being the son of Madeline Pryor and Scott Summers, are still there, but the key differences are like Jean Grey still being able to still being alive shortly after Madeline Pryor gives birth, which gives some major clone confusion on the X-Men part regarding, you know, the identity of the real Jean, like which one's the real Jean kind of thing for a second. And the reveal that Madeline is a clone of Jean and her subsequent corruption from Mr. Sinister, who created her, also happens like bing, bing, bing right in the same episode. So it just sort of, you know, quick succession. And then the same is true of the techno-organic virus Sinister gives Nathan, as we know that Cable is infected with the techno-organic virus, right? That's why he's got the bionic arm that you see, and that's why he doesn't ever use his telekinesis or telepathy, because he's constantly using that to keep the techno-organic virus at bay from taking over his body. If he didn't have those powers keeping that at bay, it would just take him over and kill him instantly. You know, and then of course, if he didn't have the virus, he'd be able to use his powers like Strife does, which is a clone of Cable without the virus, but we'll go there. But yeah, it's worth noting that Nathan's middle name has been changed to Charles rather than Christopher, as it is in the comics, which a means of honoring Professor X, who is presumed dead in this animated universe. And I say presumed because they're not going to. But that said, all the important narrative elements of Cable's origins are there, albeit somewhat remixed. But that also includes Jean and Scott having no choice but to send Nathan with Bishop to the future to receive treatment for the techno-organic virus. Bishop is essentially replacing the Ascani who raised Nathan in the comics. The Ascani people are like a tribe of like futuristic people who you know, raised Cable. But in like an ironic twist, considering how often the original animated series pitted Cable and Bishop against each other, you know, as rival time travelers. Regardless, this will undoubtedly begin Nathan's journey to becoming Cable, and incredibly, Cable is like one of my favorite characters of all of comicdom. He's a dope warrior. Post-apocalyptic future guy, comes back, time traveling, body sliding, teleporting. He's just like a grumpy old bastard with like dope ass powers. He's like one of my favorite. Period. And he always goes in battle with Apocalypse, and also is like one of my favorite characters in the future, and then comes back to the present as an adult, both in the comics and in the show. And then he did come out in the first season of of X-Men as an already active hero in the present. He was fighting to liberate an island nation of Genosha from the mutant oppressing government there. But Cable's status as a warrior from the future fighting against Apocalypse in the year 3999 AD wouldn't be confirmed until the second season of the original series. So people, if you didn't know that from the comics, people didn't know that yet until the two episode arc Time Fugitives that came in season 2. But being faced with the erasure of his own time, thanks to Bishop, who was trying to save his own future timeline, Cable's forced to go back in time and help Apocalypse. It's crazy. But yeah, it's a whole thing. But X-Men 97 does finally reveal that Jean Grey never told Cyclops about Cable, and that's the big. Jean knows that Cable is Cyclops' son, right? But it's heavily implied, and so hinting to Scott that Cable is not only important to the future, but also their future specifically. But this sort of tease is never brought up again for the rest of the X-Men the animated series. But because Cyclops didn't put the pieces together in X-Men season 2, he was likely never aware that Cable was his son. But it does follow that Jean sat on this mystery for years, choosing to keep Cable's true identity a secret from the man she loved. But it's unclear like how much Jean learned when she touched Cable's mind, how much she knew, such as whether she also learned about, his mother being Madeline Pryor, her clone, created by Mr. Sinister. Like I said, it's deep. But yeah, this sort of begs the big question is how Cable knew that Jean and Cyclops were his parents. But it all gets hashed out in the new series, and that's one of the other great things that I love about this. Wasn't it Apocalypse that originally affected him with the virus? It was, and in Messiah Complex. Yes, in Messiah Complex. Yeah, y'all.
Hey,
So
hey, real quick, let me jump in. I have some family time. Bro, this was a great last show, man. Stu, hey, bro, we got to link up, or we got to exchange info, bro. Because great last show, bro. I'm gonna keep listening in. I got to spend some family time. But
all right,
thanks
bro.
for always having me, bro.
Absolutely, man. You're always welcome.
Anytime.
And I don't know. It did. Listen, guys. This being our final show on YouTube, I just want to say to everybody, it's been great and all that, and we appreciate you guys. But you know, we not going nowhere, huh? Not going nowhere. We right here. We stand right here. We stand right.
Nice, Mr. T touch. 18, bro. Nice touch.
I pity the fool who don't get fooled on April Fools. It was just for fun. But hey, I did promise you guys that I was going to tell you how to start reading Wolverine comics, and I will, because he's my favorite character, and I think people are interested in him but don't know a whole lot about him, and then it's so daunting. You have no idea how to get into it, where to start. Who do I read first? Which Wolverine comic do I start with, and all of that, and do I start at Weapon X, or and then they find out Weapon X came later in the comics, and so
Yeah, it's a lot, I was just
yeah.
reading some Wolverine comics the other day. Like, I never knew why Wolverine and Sabretooth hated each other so much. And it's
Mm,
because, well, Sabretooth Wolverine killed Sabretooth's brother. I always thought they were brothers, and
Depends
come
on
to
the
find
comic.
out that right in one comic I read, Wolverine killed Sabretooth's brother, and
Okay.
ever since then he's just had this. And not only did he do it, but he admitted it. Like, yeah, I did it. And he's always had this hatred for Wolverine to kill him because he killed his brother. But
Right.
I never knew that. And
Yeah.
Wolverine comics are it's a long span, bro. But they're dope when you read them. Like
Oh yeah.
I never knew why the Hand hated Wolverine so much. Like when he coded, like Wolverine can't step foot in New York City without the Hand being all over.
Yeah. The
And I
Hand,
never knew
bro.
why.
Madripoor.
Yeah,
Fucking. The
yeah,
Wolverine's been a samurai. He's been a secret agent. He's been, he's all kinds of. But this year is the 50th year, is the 50th anniversary of Wolverine. Um, and that 2024 is the 50th year since he was created. The story of Wolverine is definitely an interesting one. He came out of nowhere. He was just a third wheel in a battle between the Hulk and the Wendigo. In Hulk number 180. Well, at the end of 180, the very last page, he's there, full page Wolverine, he's there, but that's it. Last page, he doesn't do anything. 181, is the one where he's actually involved in the comic, actually says stuff, does stuff. But that comic and that character, Wolverine in that character could have just been the end of it. It could have just ended right there, faded into the background, and that would have been it. It wasn't like they rolled out this new character and he had his own comic. No. Kind of like Spider-Man in that way. I mean, Spider-Man was a character in the 15th issue of a variety anthology book, Amazing Fantasy 15. So it doesn't, a lot of these characters they didn't know they were gonna, blow up like this.
no, they did. They really didn't.
After, and then, and a lot of people, also think that Wolverine's been around since the X-Men. Wolverine has not been around since the
No,
X.
he's
The
not.
X-Men were around for a while before Wolverine.
And
Yeah,
remember, he ran with Alpha Flight for a while, and he's Canadian.
he's Canadian. But before Alpha Flight, before any of that, he joined the X-Men in Giant Size X-Men number 1. That's the issue where the old team is trapped on an island, and Professor X has to recruit a new team to go save the old team. And then we find out that he actually created a team before that died, and no one talked about it. But that's a whole nother story. But the team that he sends back in X-Men, that's your Storm, your Colossus, Wolverine, obviously, Sunfire, all those characters that we know of being, core Wolverine character or X-Men characters didn't come around until Giant Size X-Men number 1. And then of course the rest is history. But Wolverine was definitely the breakout star. He became definitely a popular character really fast. People writing in and stuff like that right away. This guy, he's got claws, he's crazy. Wolverine, he's got this, he's just, everything about him was dope. He had a crazy cool design, a cool character. He wasn't like, I'm a superhero. He was short and he was stocky and he growled and he was hairy and he was ugly. And then he got his first solo book in 1982, and then he got his own solo series in 1988. Since then, he's almost always had his own book. He's been in every other character's books, every team. He's been a part of most teams. But Wolverine, has decades of solo comics under his belt, and it can be very difficult for new readers, to know where to hop on and how to get involved. And there's a lot of great jumping on points for the character. You don't have to start at any one place. But there is some better places to start than others. Obviously, Chris Claremont and Frank Miller's first Wolverine miniseries takes Logan to Japan, where he learns, lessons about, his fighting style. And Chris Claremont is like our godfather, right? If you're an X-Men fan, Chris Claremont is that dude. He's our guy. He's our main dude that sort of hold on, let me see what's going on. Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck, dog? You're not that's not a Al, that's not an April Fool's joke. Is it? Tell me right now, dog.
Yeah, I'm checking it out, y'all.
Tell me right
All
now, bro.
right,
I find out.
all right. Give me a minute, y'all.
Nah, it's no joke. It's what?
Yeah, he did. I just asked Alexa. He did. Yeah, and she ain't even elaborate on it. She just was like, "Unfortunately, he did." She said it just like that.
Fucking killed himself, dog.
What happened?
Wow, that's
Fucking
crazy,
killed
man.
himself, bro.
Who?
Ed Pisker.
Oh
Pisco.
yeah, man. They was just talking about him today about his pedophile thing going on.
Who? Nah, bro.
Yeah, some craziness like that, man. He was talking to underage girls and texting them and
Ed
stuff like that.
Piskor?
Yes, the artist Ed Piskor. Yeah, he had some allegations headed his way from various females. Crazy, man, crazy. But I ain't. I was just
What?
watching a show about him and his allegations. I ain't know today he went out like that.
All right. Well, I mean, real quick though. Yeah. Okay. It was pedo accusations. He wrote a letter. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. You're
Yeah,
not going to
and
kill
multiple
yourself
multiple women. Yeah,
over
multiple women
accusations.
accused cartoonist Ed Pisker of grooming and misconduct. That was a week ago. A
Hold
week
on.
ago.
Before we say any of this shit, because that's my dude, and I don't want to just put his name out like that and just drag him through the dirt before we got the facts.
Well, no, well, listen. Well, that's why we. That's
Yeah.
why I use the word. That's why I
His.
use the words alleged,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we don't, we
Well, no,
don't, we
I know
don't
that,
know
but I don't
until.
even want to. I don't even want to
Yeah,
talk about that. I don't even bring
true.
that. I don't want to mention those words until we know something. Let me see, because I don't even want to bring the word pedo up with his name until we know something. Hip Hop Family Tree, XMen Grand Design, codes, blah, blah, YouTube's character, death comes, accusations of multiple women inappropriate behavior, underage grooming, artist Molly Dwyer. Okay, it is with the most broken heart that I share. My big brother Ed has passed away today. Please just keep our family in your prayers, as this is the hardest thing we've ever had to go through. Piskor shared what appeared to be a suicide note on Facebook with a post reading, "I'm helpless against a mob of this magnitude. Please share my side of things. Sayonara." He wrote a note, "I'm sorry for being so stupid," for comments he made in a direct message on a women's social media, particularly inviting the then 17-year-old Dwyer to stay with him. However, he added, "I promise my innocence." He said, "I wasn't trolling Instagram randomly, but I definitely shouldn't have chatted with her when I found out how young she was." He added that he wouldn't have let her stay at his place at that age, and that his invitation was to visit was a non-sexual in nature. The images posted by Dwyer on Instagram, messages from Piskor, included one that read, "Are you 17 or 18? I'm going to be so mad if you say 17 because this crushes me at that age." He also calls her a good girl and a naughty girl. Ed Dwyer wrote, "Ed Piskor likes young girls." She wrote that Ed Piskor likes young girls. Said that he tried to groom her and also called him a creep. His cartoonist kayfabe co-host Rugg had distanced himself from Piskor following the allegations against him, writing in a Friday post, "In light of this past week's shocking revelations, I find it necessary to reevaluate my professional associations to ensure they align with my values of respect and integrity. Therefore, I have ended my working relationship with Ed Piskor." Wow. Oh, wow. Where's Al? Did Al come? All right. So yeah, fuck that. I mean, if he was doing that shit, ain't no excuses. But honestly, I don't even like this kind of shit. In light of this past week's shocking revelation, he said Pisker's art had been set to be exhibited in the 707 Penn Gallery, but it was indefinitely postponed following the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust learning of allegations against Pisker. He wrote in his note, right as I'm trying not to jump off a bridge or something. Okay. He wrote another. So, okay. So here's what I was thinking, Stu. Here's what I was saying, bro. I was saying, like, yeah, exactly. Taking your life is not the fucking answer. But that's my point. Like, I don't buy that he just took his life because these allegations were piling up on him. Look how many people have been accused of this stuff who really were super guilty, got just destroyed in the media. They didn't kill themselves. Like, you already have issues. You already are on the edge. This was just an excuse. This was just a reason. Nobody kills themselves over something like that. You don't just kill yourself because a thing happened. Suicide comes from, an accumulation of shit. And he did say in his note, right as I'm trying not to jump off a bridge or something. So that tells you right there, he was in the midst of dealing with suicide, man, dealing with suicidal thoughts, man. That damn, Ed. He said in a note to his accuser, a conundrum to me, and her actions border criminal. He added that he believed his family should file a civil suit against her. He said she pushed this over the edge into multiple women territory. I absolutely never asked for a blowjob in trade or for anything ever. He denied other claims she made while noting that they had sex twice and stating that she had initiated both times. Pisker's work had been seen as controversial, at times disturbing, particularly with his recent exploration horror comic Red Room from indie publisher Fantagraphics. He also wrote an online comic called Switchblade Stories. Yeah, Red Room was fucking out there. Red Room, Stu, you read Red Room, right?
Mm-hmm. It was disturbing, I would say. That's the best thing I could use, and not to diss him anything like that, or just it just I don't. I got a free copy of it, and I was just like, yeah, like it wouldn't be
Not for
something I
me.
would buy.
Yeah, it's not for
Yeah,
me.
it just wasn't for me. It was out there in ways that just
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
It
You
was
might got some
out.
people that's into that, but I wasn't.
Oh yeah,
I just
people loved it. It was
yeah,
wildly popular. Red Room was huge. It was very popular. It blew up real fast. I remember I
it
was
did.
selling comics at the time, and I couldn't hold on to Red Room. Like, them shits were flying off the shelf. But then yeah, he did express his frustration with the fallout of the accusations against him in his note, writing, now it's all gone. Art show evaporated. Was about to sign a $75,000 deal for Switchblade Stories with Abrams. Cartoonist kayfabe ends with Jimmy's shocking revelations statement. Those words hurt. However, Piskor noted that Rugg had reached out following the accusations, including coming to his house, giving him a hug, and telling Piskor that he loves him. Piskor also attacked fellow creators who had drawn attention to the allegations against him. He noted that he had left a sketchbook behind that he had talked about publishing with Fantagraphics, asking that in his note for them to be published following his death. Piskor also asked Rugg in the note to help with his intellectual property and books. He said, I was murdered by internet bullies, massive amounts of them. Some of you out there absolutely contributed to my death as you were entertaining yourself with gossip. I wasn't AI. I was a real human being. You chipped little bits off my self-esteem away until I was all week until I was vaporized. He added that he hoped his death makes people think twice when joining an internet feeding frenzy. I do, I do have to fucking say yes to that. I do agree there. People do get on their feeding frenzies. That's why I said from the jump, I wanted to refrain from like going in real quick because like that's what happens. People hear this and then they go in and it becomes like this feeding frenzy and people just go ham without knowing any facts whatsoever. They just yeah, exactly. Evil mob. They get evil. They get evil in a mob mentality. People, the whole pitchforks and torches is a real thing. Mob mentality is fucking scary. It's scary as shit because you get a big mob of people believe, wholeheartedly passionate about some shit that they don't fucking know a thing about. They might not even have a clue about it, but they're ready to kill for it. And that's scary, man. That's scary. But it is what it is, man. You cannot you can't be out here talking to underage girls, bro. That's just there's no excuse, man. You can't do that. You can make a mistake like that and then deal with it, get therapy, whatever, whatever you have to go through. You just don't do it again kind of thing. But killing yourself is a bit drastic, I think. I don't think, like I said, I don't think that what he claims that it took a week of internet bullying and he killed himself, that's someone who's clearly not happy, right? That's someone clearly who their life does not hold much weight. A week of bullying and you kill yourself. That's I don't care how bad the bullying is. I can turn my fucking internet off. I can turn my phone off. I can not look at it. I can just watch TV. So, that's and I say that coming from a place of love, man, because Ed Piskor was a good dude that I knew. He was good to us anyway, and it just sucks that he went out like that, man.
It does. It really, really does. And it's our society now with the Me Too movement and all the stuff they do now, man. You just don't want the backlash. And he makes his living as a public figure. He draws comics. He's an artist. He writes books, and something like that can kill his livelihood, man. And then he'll be thinking or trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do next, how I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna pay my bills. This just came out, and then you got the legal ramifications and all of that. That's a lot, man, for somebody to face. And you don't know what's coming. It's a lot for some people. Some people can't handle it.
Yeah.
Remember when Wall Street crashed? You had people killing themselves. In '29, people jumping off of buildings.
Well, yeah, you
lost their
lose
stocks and all
you
that.
lose all your fortune and everything. That is something that I can see why they would do that. But I do
some
agree
people
with hot mustard
But
gas.
some people would feel like you do, Rena, and be like, well, it ain't a reason for me to kill. I just got to start all over. You
Well,
know what I
I
mean?
did.
Like it's
I
different
do.
for everybody. It's different for everybody, but I agree with what you're saying about how it's nothing to really kill yourself. But at the same time, we don't know what else he had going on. It could have been that and something else on top of that. We don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Yeah. No,
And
I
that could
mean,
have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
I do agree that I wish that he would have apologized and wrote it out and dealt with it. Of course, obviously, hot mustard gas 20. But again, like Slade said,
I like
that's
that.
where we at. Yeah. But I mean, they do push you until you go to extremes, and everybody ain't as strong as everybody else. Raw talk. What up, man?
Yeah, man. I had to switch from my phone and stuff like that because I was in the mix.
Oh,
But yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
all
sad to
right.
hear,
He's out there
man. I was
pimping. He's
like I
out there
said
pimping.
earlier.
We get it. He's out there collecting that cash, bro. He's out there
No, I had to
collecting
pick
that
a wife
cash.
here. I have to pick
Okay.
you know what I'm
You
saying,
said you.
and make some
Oh, you
moves.
said you was. Oh, we thought you was out there, collecting that cash, from all your women.
Nah, man. Those
Nah,
days are
man, you got to
long
get
over,
out there and
man.
make sure, they bringing it all in. Make sure they bringing it back.
Man.
We get it.
Those days are long
We
over,
get
man. That ended at 29, man.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's sad, man. But a lot of people don't. I don't think they have the strength anymore. A lot of people don't have the strength anymore. Society don't have that strength because if something is levied against you, you're supposed to fight that to the bitter end, especially if you're standing on truth.
If you feel you innocent, right? If you feel you innocent, yeah.
Yeah, if you're innocent, you stand on it, and then you go on the offensive. Oh, prove it. Prove it. We can both stand in the court. We can stand anywhere. Prove it in a court of opinion, a court of peers, or what have you. Prove it, and I'll show you that you're wrong. And then those people who jumped on a bandwagon and saying this and that and putting these allegations out as if they were true, yes, I'm going to get paid because I'm coming after you because you're destroying my livelihood, my reputation, my sanity. Because now I have to walk into office rooms and people whispers behind my back, regardless of true or not true.
Yeah.
So I mean, people, these days people need to fight back, and I think the people's will have been whittled down and destroyed over the years with a lot that's been going on in society. I think there are people who can't, who actually want a way out, and sometimes these things that pop up, they see it as their way out and say, "Yo, I can't deal with life anymore. I want to go."
Yeah, and it does. It seems like a like a like an excuse, like not an excuse, but like like an excuse to kill yourself. You already
check out.
Like you already was thinking about it. You already kind of wanted to do it, and then this just gave you the fucking, the reason, the excuse.
Yeah, look at the state of the world, man.
Some of the people that came after him, not because of the allegations, but because of his political views. Also, it's a messed up situation. How much the gas it is. It really is. And
that's what happens.
You gotta be.
You gotta be. Instead of coming after you for that thing, they come after you for your political views and everything else.
And that's not fair because everybody's entitled to their views. Like everybody has an opinion, bro. Like when did we start getting to the point where nobody has an opinion anymore? Like we gotta go with whatever the status quo is, and that's just it. Like
you gotta follow the sheep.
and
this is that part of that. Yeah, this is part of that programming, man. That this is what they wanted. I tell everybody explicitly. They already been telling us through movies and stuff like that. Look at the movie Equilibrium. That is what they're trying to do in a nutshell. Look at that movie closely. Analyze that movie closely. They're drugging people so they have no emotions or feelings, so they can be dependent on the state. Then they're destroying all creativity by harboring, we're going to destroy your happiness through creativity. That's why you see a lot of movies the way they are. Oh, this is trash. Now we all think all the movies are trash. We're not going to movies anymore. They won't make them anymore. That brings that creativity level down. They're doing it, and they've been telling us in these movies. You look at every one of them, pick it out, and you'll see in every movie of dystopian quality or whatever, you'll see the different techniques in those movies are being used now in society.
Oh yeah, they always have been. Like like we always said, if you see it in a movie, they already could been do it. That. But real quick, I want to acknowledge Kid with the Kung Fu Grip. You missed the April Fools, man. We just played a little prank, man. We just bullshitting, man. We not going nowhere.
Come on.
We not going nowhere. It's April 1st. We had to do something. I don't know. But yeah, man, Ed Piskor, man. He hasn't been on this show, but I've been on Al's show and I've interviewed him, and then we posted that interview on this channel, so you can see the interview with Ed Piskor if you scroll down in our feed. You can see, of course, on Comic Crusaders as well. But he like I said, he's got his own show on YouTube. He had a show on YouTube called Cartoonist Kayfabe, where they just talked about different like obscure cartoonists and artists and just comic, indie comic stuff, real obscure shit, real weird shit, sometimes real like pornographic stuff, sometimes real violent stuff, but always just very weird. Like that was his guy. Like his thing was just weird, just anything weird, anything interesting, anything unique, anything different, anything weird. That's what he was into. But he had a encyclopedic knowledge of artists, of cartoonists and comics. And I mean, he gave us hip hop. He gave us the hip hop family tree. He gave us the hip hop comic book. One of the biggest hip hop and comic books that, you know, helped us build this channel was called Hip Hop Family Tree, written by Ed Piskor, drawn by Ed Piskor. And basically it shows the entire birth, creation, and progression of hip hop from Cool Herc to like recent shit, like 90s. And he showed all of it. And he didn't just like go on Wikipedia and get the footnotes of what happened and how hip hop was created. He knows these people. Like, he talked with Cool Herc. He got actual quotes from these guys, and like he has it laid out in the comic, man. And it's like, you know, behind the scenes shit. It's the real history. It's a real official history of hip hop, man. They actually just reprinted it in a big golden foil gold laced omnibus. It's gorgeous. I think it's like $75. But it's really dope, man. And it's a big loss. It's a big loss in our community, man, for sure. So I love Cartoonist Kayfabe. There's some real legendary interviews on that channel. Oh yeah. Cartoonist Kayfabe. That's how it's spelled. There it is right there. Cartoonist Kayfab. Kayfabe is a play on the words, on the word kayfabe from the wrestling community. In wrestling, in pro wrestling, the storyline that the characters are following, but like they'll get on stage and like, you know, be everything they're doing, everything, if it looks real, if it wasn't, no matter what, that's the kayfabe. The kayfabe, if I'm getting that right, that's the sort of wool that they're pulling over the rest of the audience's eyes. That's is the kayfabe. Sort of. And actually, there's a wrestling show called the guy from from Green Arrow is the star of it too. What's it called? I forget what it's called, but they talk about kayfabe in there. But it's a cool play on words. But anyway, that's what cartoonist kayfabe is. Rest in power, Ed Piskor.
It's sad, man. It's just sad, man. And like I said, if you know, regardless to what happened or what went down, none of us was
Okay.
there. We're never gonna get his side of the story. Um, but it's just sad that you know we're to the point now where you know once you point the finger at somebody, you know everybody just comes down on you like a sack of boulders
Mm-hmm.
or like an avalanche in a snowstorm. Like that's just not right, man. Like you know, I'm a Steelers fan. I remember when Ben Roethlisberger got accused of raping a woman in the bathroom. He said it for a long time. He was like, I can't really talk about it right now because you know, the case is trying. But when they did go to court and it did all come out, it came out the way it was supposed to come out. It was the fact that he said he went in the bathroom with the girl willingly. She went in there willingly, and she just didn't like the way it ended. And that way it was just that's what it was. And she accused him of rape and all this other stuff, which almost ruined his career over not an altercation, but an encounter that just didn't go her way. You know, like he said, we agreed to go in the bathroom and do what we wanted to do. I got up and left, and she didn't like the way, you know. But he did say, and he does admit that before he went in there, his little entourage, his boys, was like, "Don't go in there with that shit. You might regret it." And he went anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes you gotta protect yourself, man. I don't know what Epic Score was into. You know, I can't speculate that, but all I can say is that it didn't end well, and it's sad. You know, it's just a sad deal because of it. But I do have that hip hop number one joint right there, you know. Yeah. How many of them do you have?
I just got two. Well, this is like a 3-in-1, and I got the free, or I got the there's Humpty. But yeah, this is like this is 90. This goes into the 90s, 80s, 90s one. This one starts with 1975 to 1981. So this is like where Grandmaster Flash is in there. But yeah, it's literally, it's like, it's not like told like a story. It's like actually played out by the people involved.
Okay. I remember when this came out. I like to get the omnibus. You said the omnibus is
Mm-hmm.
I like to get the omnibus, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll say it's everything from hip hop from the time when Cindy and her brother Kool Herc put on a concert, or put on a party at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx.
Sedgwick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of Pisca's X-Men Grand Designs.
Yeah, that's dope.
Artwork is phenomenal to me. I like that style. You know, it's very
He does have a weird
cartoony.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cartoony, but it was
Yeah,
playful,
cartoony.
but yet, you know, it was dope.
Yeah.
You can see there was elements of hip hop in it, from the, like, you know, throwing up the graph pieces,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah, you know, it was very and also in a sense it looked like how a Mad magazine would be played out too. You know what I'm saying? The caricatures and stuff like that, even with that book. Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Queen Latifah up here. Where's my?
See,
There she is.
Latifah, Fab Five, Freddy.
Yep, Fab Five Freddy, Kane, Cool
Bill.
Keith, Scarface,
Mhm.
Blowfly, Willie D, Schoolie D, Kid and Play, Bambaataa, Bushwick Bill, Heavy D, MF Doom is up there, Prince Marky D, Chuck D, Terminator X, Kanye West is up there, Mac Daddy, Daddy Mac, Flavor Flav, Rick Rubin. Shit, he did not leave nobody out. Bushwick, like I said, that Cool Ski Rock. Yeah, man, it's a gang. It's a whole lot. Slick Rick. You got Slick Rick. I see Tupac down here.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
Easy
PB
E.
KRS-One.
Yeah.
Yep.
Salt and Pepper.
There's Salt and Pepper.
There's Humpty.
Yeah,
Beastie Boy, 80 Rock.
There's Melly Mel.
Ad Rock. Yeah, they go Beastie Boys right there.
Yep. Ad
Yeah.
Rock.
LL
There's
at the
LL.
bottom. Cool Mo D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Rubin with the
Beanie.
what you call it, T-shirt. The what are they called?
Misfits.
Misfits, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But it's really cool because, like I said, it's not like a book just written telling you this is what went down. It's like, this is Rick Rubin. Day one. It says day one. No, I didn't get it. Next day. The following day. Nope. Day after that. For the 15th time. No. What was that about? He says, this guy keeps wondering if I got his demo tape. I put the address to the dorm on the Tila Rock. Rickid. Now dudes think I'm a real record company or something. Oh, Record. So another thing that he does, he writes like the way the word sounds instead of saying
like
record,
how he talks.
Rekkid, right? A New York accent. That's how he basically writes it out in a very New York accent. So you got to kind of read the word and then be like, okay, what is that? Like, say it in a New York way, you know, with accent, and then you'll be like, oh, that's what he means. Because he wrote record, Rekkid for record. But yeah, it's cool. I like the kid's name though. Ladies love Cool James. Haha, we dig that. Get the tape out, but you know, so it's just, it's like, you know, the actual you know, goings on in the community. It's just a cool way that he
peek into an excerpt of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's sad, man, but you know. Now, but see, even with this situation, now people are questioning his validity or his truth, or if he did it or not. See, when you're not here to defend yourself, people can speculate and throw dirt on your name and everything, and your family, your family's sad about it and they want to defend you, but if the person is not there to defend themselves, it's just like, what can you do? Now it's one person's word instead of two people going at it, or a few people going at it, you know?
And it makes it like, I mean, honestly, it makes you look kind of guilty because, like, you know, if you get accused of child molesting or whatever like that, and you know you didn't do that shit, then you ain't definitely gonna be you're gonna be fighting again. You're gonna be fighting tooth and nail. But if you feel like you really did that shit and you know all the jig is up and they found me out, then I can see, you know, maybe then they killed themselves. But you know, fucking, you're a pedo. I have no love for you. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever.
Yeah, man, that's the worst shit you can be.
But
period.
If it's this weird questionable thing where he thought she was 18 and she was really 17, that's not a pedo. That's something else. Now, why is a 40-year-old dude messing with an 18-year-old? That could be looked at as, you know, maybe morally, or maybe like, what do you have in common? You know, what the fuck you doing? But it's not illegal.
But no, not at all. No, not at all.
It's not illegal, but yeah, it's questionable. Like, yeah, the mentality, you're 40. This is a child compared to you. You know,
mentally,
what I'm saying? So it's like
no experience. Yeah.
But then you look at the historical parts of that too. With these young girls back in the day used to say they were this and that, and they turn out to be underage, and dudes get caught out there like that.
Yeah.
Yo, it's like society is just shot, man.
Bro, then you had KRS-One. What was KRS-One's song?
13 and good. 13 and good. That was deep.
That was a deep song. She said her rhymes, MC Light. She had something like I like them young and whatever, and I take them and I'm like, what? Yo, this is wild, man. It's like you gotta question everything now, man. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? Where it shouldn't be questionable. Everything should be straight up right and wrong. Period. It shouldn't be no gray areas. But now when you inject that gray area, people can question this and that. Yo, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, who wants to get back into the Wolverine?
Yeah, let's get back into the comics.
Let's get. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. We had to pay homage, man. Come on, that's what we had to. Yeah, we gotta pay homage, man. We you know, as far as the allegation side, we can't dive too deep into that because we don't know, but we can, you know, respect his artwork and what he did, you know, for the culture and all that, and give big ups to him for that. You know what I mean? And just wish his family well and hope that they, you know, they get through this trying times and just, you know, just hope that they get
also we gotta also not be on a slippery slope either, because when it comes up that take that, if he's found some type of innocent or cleared, are we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Or if he's found guilty or whatever, whenever they charge him, are we gonna be like, yo, we gotta pay homage to him? What he did for the culture?
Puffy, yeah, but Puffy didn't do nothing for the culture. He doesn't like, I don't give him Biggie. Biggie is not Puffy's. Puffy didn't make Biggie. Biggie would have been Biggie without Puffy.
No, I would differ on that. Because remember, I would say,
I don't want to get into a big debate, but
no, it's not a debate. I'm just saying musically. I'm not going by character. I'm going by musically. Because remember, he was sampling them old. If it wasn't for that Juicy sample,
well, Puffy did put him on the mainstream. That's for sure. I just meant that Biggie was an MC. He was an MC. He was going to be an MC regardless. But you know, Puffy did definitely give him that commercial boost for sure.
Yeah. And that was it. That's all I'm saying. That's if he didn't meet Puffy, like what he would have got on if he was still with old boy. Maybe would he have that outreach, that connection?
Who knows? Who knows who he would have got with? We don't know, but we can definitely say Puffy did give him that, you know, gave him that mainstream boost.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm saying.
Which some may say, you know, was what they didn't like about Biggie's work. They didn't like the commercial stuff. The you know, some people didn't like that stuff. So, you know, there's something to be said about that too. Biggie may have just remained a hardcore, you know, Mobb Deep type, Nas type, rapper.
Because I like Party and Bullshit. That's my favorite from him.
The original.
That was my graduation theme.
Mm-hmm.
93. Party and Bullshit.
Yeah. So the reason I'm showing Dusty right now is because I just made before we go back to Wolverine, I was going to show y'all this what do you call it?
Oh, that's what you was talking about. Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
yo, that's dope. That's a nice little.
Yeah, it's like the what do you call them? I don't know what you call them. The things they stand on.
Mm-hmm.
You just take they got this shit right here for these what do you call it?
Oh yeah,
for the miniatures. They do like these miniature bases and shit, and you could do. Yeah, I'm bro. You got grass, little jungle, little moss and shit. I could do snow theme. Little here's little plants and shit, little rocks and shit, little cork and sand.
Yeah, I'm about to get busy with sculpting and paper mache. Yeah, about to get busy.
Hell yeah, bro! This shit is fucking.
Yeah, that's hard.
Hell yeah, that's
hell
you know what I mean. I'm gonna do a little jungle one for him. But yeah,
Narga stands. Okay. Omega Wepa, my man. Wepa.
Narga stands. Huh.
Omega Wepa.
Yeah.
That's hard, man. I like that.
So 50 years of Wolverine.
I got some clear ones. You know what I mean? So I'm using clear ones right now.
Oh, okay.
But if I had like black ones like Reno had, if I had like a black one like you had, I would definitely, because the black ones they kind of plain. Like it's what I mean. The clear is like cool because you can see under it. You can see the and I got mine in glass, so it's kind of cool. But that there with the black, that's hard, man. That makes it gives it some life. Make it look like something. Man. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yo, Reno, you just sparked the idea in me. Yo, you know those spinning displays?
Yeah.
Like
you
do one of those and have one of those up. Spinning display and go crazy with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can go ham with a whole diorama if you want to, but this is just something simple I could do while I'm at work, sitting at my desk, fucking off and just sit there and just make one up. That's what I did while I was at work today. I just made that little shit while I'm sitting at my desk. But yeah, yes, 50 years Wolverine. Yeah, but I was just telling people how to sort of get into Wolverine, different jumping on points and all of that, because I know a lot of people want to get into Wolverine, but it's a very daunting, when you look at the body of Wolverine stuff, where does it start? Do I start at Weapon X? Do I start at 181, Hulk 181? Like, what's the best place? But like I was saying, Chris Claremont, just before Al came in and told us the news about Ed, I was saying that Chris Claremont is sort of like X-Men fans' godfather. He's sort of he gave us, the big, like Phoenix Saga, a lot of stuff like Days of Future Past, a lot of the big stories. And, he was given the X-Men at number X-Men Volume 1, which was X-Men 94 in 1974. And then he wrote until 1991, when I think it was Jim Lee took over. And in his first run with the team, that was the first time he had it, rather. And Claremont basically created the vast majority of the big stories that are known. And his work on Wolverine is what made the character that we know. And so when Wolverine, got his first solo miniseries in 1982, no other choice to write that 4-issue miniseries. And Claremont teamed up with Frank Miller, who was a legend in the making, and Wolverine Volume 1, a series that took Wolverine to Japan, where he met his fiancée Mariko, and which embroiled him in a war with her father Shingen. We saw the movie Wolverine with Silver Sable, very bad representation of this story. But this series has everything that a new Wolverine reader would want from a Wolverine story. Claremont and Miller created a dope very action-packed tale that shows Wolverine's animal side, his human side, and it's it's a classic. It's readily available as a collected edition. It's 4 issues. You can get it. It's the Wolverine miniseries issues 1 through 4. That's a great starting point. And then Claremont has also, is also the perfect choice to write Wolverine's ongoing series when it debuted in 1988. And Claremont wrote issue 1 through 8 and then number 10, working with yet another legendary Marvel artist, John Buscema. And then Claremont focused on Wolverine's adventures on Madripoor, where we mentioned earlier. And Madripoor is like a Pacific island run by criminals and corrupt officials. It's a fictional place made up by Marvel, but it's like in like
we've seen it in Shang-Chi.
Asia. It was in Shang-Chi. And these 9 issues that Claremont did have the battle with the Silver Samurai, new villains like Bloodstream and Roughhouse, and then of course the first iconic battle with Sabretooth in a comic that is easily the best single issue of any Wolverine comic. The first fight with Sabretooth. Yeah. What'd you say?
I thought also in Black Panther, didn't they go to Madripoor when they met Ross at the casino?
Madripoor's been in a couple. Pretty much anytime you see like a casino, that's usually Madripoor. It's been in a couple of the movies. It's definitely been in some it was in the animated X-Men too, I think. Anytime they're in like this, Vegas type city, that's Madripoor. It's like a city, like almost like a lawless country, island, sovereign island, underworld run thing. And Claremont is the creator who made Wolverine the best there is, and his first 2 separate occasions writing Wolverine solo adventures number among the character's best stories. Claremont understood what made Wolverine, and he was responsible for most of that. He really gave us Wolverine in what we know it as today, and his work is exactly what a new reader needs to understand the character and really start getting into Wolverine and finding, Wolverine Volume 2, 1 through 8, and number 10 is a little more complicated because there are Epic Collection editions that collect. I think like 1 through 4, and then like 4 through 8, and then you got to get like 10. But then of course the next go-to obviously is Weapon X, because you have obviously the origin of Wolverine getting the adamantium, getting the metal on his claws, which it's obviously a prequel. It goes back to when this happened. Weapon X introduces Dr. Abram Cornelius, Hines, and the Professor, 3 bigwigs in the Weapon X program. We saw Hines and Professor later appear in the Shiva scenario, where Wolverine ends up killing the Professor. Dr. Cornelius sets the events into motion that end with Wolverine's death in Death of Wolverine, that happened in its own little run. And then after Weapon X, Wolverine is found by James and Heather Hudson, who bring him into Department H in Canada. That's where he tapped to lead Alpha Flight. Now, Weapon X, the Weapon X story was originally published in a anthology book called Marvel Comics Presents, number 72 to number 84. All right, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. But it's an anthology comic. So in issue 72, there's 3 stories. The first little story is about Wolverine. And then issue 73 has 3 stories. The first story is about Wolverine. So basically, you've got these anthology books where the first of 3 stories is about Wolverine. So you have to collect it and put it together through all those anthologies. But of course, you can find Weapon X in a combined graphic novel. And Weapon X isn't just a Wolverine classic. I need a drink. Hold on.
Yeah, 2049 on Amazon.
Yes. But yes, Wolverine. Weapon X is not just a Wolverine classic. It's a Marvel classic. It definitely gives a lot of the it's not just Wolverine. Like Weapon X, a lot of stuff comes out of that. A lot of stuff comes out of those stories, those storylines. And in the intervening years, Wolverine's origin has been fleshed out in various ways, but none of those other stories can hold a candle to Weapon X. Barry Windsor Smith is a generational talent, and his art and writing create this brutal masterpiece. Weapon X is a story that keeps Marvel continually in print, making it easy to find. But Weapon X is definitely an integral chapter in Wolverine's development. And I think it definitely illustrates the darker parts of Logan, the stuff that he doesn't talk about. But, when you always see him like brooding, like this is the stuff that is in his mind. And, it shows new readers the pain and the manipulation that sort of defined Wolverine into, and basically, made the character, who he is, who we know him as. And it's Wolverine and his world at its most savage. And it's the perfect place to begin, I think, a journey in, learning about Wolverine.
Weapon 10. Weapon
Right.
X, Weapon 10 in that program.
Yeah.
I think Captain America was Weapon. No. Who was Weapon 1? Cap?
I forget. That whole Weapons Plus program. There's a bunch of
Then they went rogue after Cap.
Yeah,
that's where we get all these different, like Hulk. They were saying Hulk was a weapon. Yep. Somebody else, a few other people were weapons. There was a story based on
Weapon H. There's Weapon
Deadpool.
H.
Deadpool is a weapon. You got Weapon H.
Yeah.
Deadpool is a weapon. Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Who else? Somebody else.
Omega Red is Russia's
Omega
Weapon
Red.
X.
Yeah,
That's Russia's
X.
version.
Yeah.
Russia's version of Weapon X. They have.
And then you have what? X-13.
X-23.
X-23.
Third.
Female Wolverine.
Yeah.
Honey Badger, rather.
Right.
Their name.
Yeah, man.
Oh no. Sorry, Honey Badger is her clone.
Mm-hmm. So, Maverick.
Yeah, X-23
Maverick was one because I like Maverick. Maverick was one.
Maverick
was my boy.
Yeah,
Maverick was my boy. I could forget that.
But the most craziest story was Wolverine's story. He was just that dude was just ripped apart, just crazy. Savage, virile, even.
Yeah, I think. And another one that another author that we don't hear about a lot in comics. Well, we do because we talk about him because we're G.I. Joe fans. But Larry Hama is a vastly underrated talent in the comic industry. He's done 2 military comics. Obviously, he did the NAM, which is about Vietnam, and then he did G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero.
Yeah,
and where Hama the NAM,
dope.
Yeah, also did some of Wolverine.
I used to like the Lamb. I used to like the NAM.
That book right behind you.
Yeah, and
basically that book right behind you.
Yeah,
one of his pieces.
Yeah. He basically he basically created everything great about the property G.I. Joe. Everything great about G.I. Joe he did. His success got him tapped to take over Wolverine in Volume 2 in 1990, and he wrote 84 issues of Wolverine. He wrote 31 through 43. He wrote 55 through 57, 60 through 109, and 111 through 118. And then, of course, he did the -1 issue during Marvel's -1 month. Yeah. And then Wolverine's sterling reputation as a solo hero comes from Larry Hama's time on the book. He really defined or redefined Wolverine's relationship with Sabretooth. And working with the artist Mark Silvestri, he dealt with the fallout from Weapon X, shepherded the character through the loss of all the the his adamantium and the feral mutation that resulted from that event.
Blown claws and everything. Yeah.
And finished up with his run with Wolverine finding the man in the beast that he became. And basically Hama wrote the book until 1997. And when Wolverine Volume 2 was a top 10 selling comic, and that's because of Larry Hama and his way with the character. It just kept readers coming back, and Hama understood the tragedy at the center of Wolverine. That's he really got that. And I think his Vietnam experience and his his war writing ability and stuff like that. Wolverine is like a old warrior. He's been in every war. Yeah, he's every soldier. He's been in every war. He's like he's
a damaged soldier. Like he's
the ultimate what do you call it, veteran, combat veteran. He's only not disabled because of his healing factor, but he's been wounded a jillion times.
Yeah, and but he's wounded here in his post traumatic syndrome. Yeah. So it's like he's been through. He's been ripped apart. His mind is even been ripped apart.
Imagine what one soldier goes through after one war. The PTSD. He's gone through every American war in history, a couple of Japanese war, like he's done it all. And so if PTSD is a thing, he's definitely got it. But Hama understood the tragedy, and the pain that he would have, and basically, made him into that wandering Ronin poet. That character trait about Wolverine that I really love, what makes him one of my favorite characters, and playing up the various aspects of him, the man, the warrior, the beast, sort of. But Hama's run has been collected in of the Epic Collections editions, trade paperback. But there aren't many collections of single stories. But there's a good reason for that. Larry Hama's writing style doesn't fit modern comics current, writing for the trade method. Instead, Hama would write longer story arcs of multiple smaller adventures, each moving with the plot forward. And that's not to say that some stories have less than 6 issues, but even those worked, to build up the plots Hama was laying down. But I think his time on Wolverine Volume 2 remains, I think, the highest point in Wolverine's history. The best part is that, even fans with only the most basic Wolverine knowledge can pick up right and enjoy it right from there. And it's a brilliant run. Every Wolverine fan, new and old, owes it to themselves. Do yourself a favor and read the Larry Hama stuff. Mark Millar is another one. 2 Wolverine story arcs are manna from heaven for anybody that's looking for Wolverine stuff. You've got Mark Millar is a very controversial writer in the modern day. He came to prominence working in DC with Wildstorm, and often with his mentor Grant Morrison, who we mentioned earlier. And Millar, struck it big with The Authority. The Authority is a book that is very violent, and like it's almost like The Boys in that respect. And like the DCU with James Gunn is going to do The Authority, an animated movie, or a live action joint, and so that's going to be cool. But Millar went to Marvel in 2000, and then eventually got the job to write Wolverine for Volume 3 for 13 issues, running from issue number 20 to issue number 32 in 2004. And this run will give you the Wolverine epic Enemy of the State. And Wolverine goes to Japan, helps a relative of Mariko, but is slain by the Hand's new mutant leader, Gorgon, and resurrected as an assassin for the ninja cult. Dope story. And then after allying with Hydra, the Hand uses Wolverine to attack Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, X-Men, everybody, and S.H.I.E.L.D. reverses the Hand's brainwashing, and Wolverine, goes out for revenge against the Hand for what they made him do. And Mark, worked with Marvel legend John Romita Jr. on the book, and Romita's amazing action, the way he draws like action scenes, give I think some of the best like battle scenes for Wolverine. Enemy of the State. It's a more deep emotional storytelling sort of method that other creators brought to Wolverine, but it more than makes up for it with the artwork. And I think he finished his first run with Wolverine was number 32, volume 3, and then and that was set in World War II, with Wolverine allowing himself to be brought to a concentration camp to haunt the commandant. So this goes back to Wolverine's time in World War II, then comes back to in 2008 to Wolverine in his Civil War collaborator McNiven for a Wolverine story that has gone down in Marvel history. We all know it, Old Man Logan. And that takes place in a dystopian future. Dystopian future where the Hulk gang is there, like all the superheroes are all dead because Wolverine killed them all because Mysterio made him think that they were bad guys. And most of the X-Men anyway he killed, and like a lot of the superheroes, and then of course the rest of the superheroes are taken over by the other villains, and the villains pretty much run shit in Old Man Logan in that dystopian world. So it's not like a place to really learn about Wolverine, the core character, but it's a cool Wolverine story. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let me see what time it is. 8:21. We gotta call it a night. But yeah, I just wanted to get through those couple stories, man, and tell you guys how to get into Wolverine the way I like to.
Yeah, Wolverine is definitely a dope character. I loved drawing him when I was younger.
Yeah. See, when I was a kid, I wasn't really a fan of Wolverine because I'll tell you why. When I was a little kid, because the way, like, I hadn't really gotten into comics yet when I'm just playing the video games, and Cyclops had ranged attacks. Wolverine, you had to get right up on the bad guy to hit him with the claw, and I always got killed. So I fucking hated Wolverine because he had no ranged attacks. Yeah, and like that was but yeah.
My first true introduction to Wolverine was the Spider-Man and Amazing Friends episode with the X-Men versus the Juggernaut. When he jumped on the Juggernaut and tried to take his helmet off, my man threw him into the wall, and his claw stuck in the wall. He was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Yo, this guy's crazy."
And he sounded Canadian. And he sounded Canadian now.
Yeah, sounded Canadian.
Yeah. He didn't have a raspy American raspy biker voice that he got. He sounded Canadian. Yeah, he was, he had like a little accent too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the one where he had the Australian accent.
It was a mixture of the.
Yeah, it was like a mix. Yeah, I guess that's the best they could do.
I saw one where he had
sound like Australians.
Yeah, British guy trying to sound Australian, trying to sound Canadian. That's what it was. It was a mixture like that. But it was cool, man, for the time. It was like,
Casual toy collector. No, this is not a G.I. Joe channel. We don't just only talk about G.I. Joe.
Nah, he's just getting on my bro, because But we did bring up Larry Hama, so Larry Hama is definitely G.I. Joe.
He's talking to your brother. Okay, I thought you were
he's talking with my brother.
Okay.
Yo, I wasn't looking for what's your name today, Reno? I wasn't looking for Duke today, man. The retro Duke is way better than.
Did you find?
It's way better than. Yeah, I found Scarlet. I got Scarlet coming, but I didn't get the other. I gotta find.
No, did you find Scarlet at Target? I'm asking.
Nah, I didn't even go. I'm gonna go tomorrow. I didn't have time to go today. But this Duke is way better than. Like, I don't understand. This is my rant for the day. I don't understand why we didn't get this from the Grip. The other Duke, it doesn't look as good. Like Like he got the futuristic boots that you can keep that. He doesn't come with as much equipment. It's nothing like the other Duke. And then I seen people were making like other heads for the Duke to make it look more like this Duke. They would take the arms and the legs off, and they were 3D printing. I was on eBay and they were 3D printing parts for Duke to make Duke look as much like this as possible.
Yeah.
And
Because you
I
know
think you
why?
got what, a Tiger Force? There's a Tiger Force one too, right?
Yeah, it's right
Hey,
here.
I want to answer kid with the kung fu grip. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, sir. They did not fucking disappoint.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
put the backwards
yes,
flag
because
on
the
them and
back,
everything.
and you know what
He's
that backwards
official
flag means?
tissue.
That backwards flag means that he's running towards danger. See that's what that backwards flag means.
For real?
And that's why it's backwards. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When you
Well,
running
we getting
towards
it
danger
direct
and
from
you
the
got the
soldier.
flag,
Okay. I
yeah.
didn't know.
When you running towards danger, right, and you got the flag, the stripes are back and the stars are to the front, right?
Yeah, because you're running the flag
Because you're going against the wind.
behind you.
You're going
Yeah.
against the
Okay.
wind, right?
Okay.
You're going
All
into
right.
danger.
Good to
You're
know.
going into danger.
All
Yeah,
right.
So
that's what that means.
wasn't an accident. That's a real military thing.
No,
And Duke
that's
is
a real
always
military
running
thing,
into
yeah.
danger.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Duke is the
Yeah.
first one running into danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody with a flag on the other way, it depicts that they are security or anything else other than that. Only law enforcement and military have the flag on
Backwards.
It's not in reverse. It's not backwards. It's facing
Right.
danger.
It's
That's the
facing
correct
danger.
term you use for it.
Okay.
Yeah, the flag
Right.
facing danger.
Okay.
Right
So you
now.
don't say
that's
it's
what that
backwards.
means.
It's not backwards. It's
No.
facing danger.
No, the sign of
It's facing
disrespect
danger.
is when
Yep.
it's upside down.
Upside down or on the
Right, when it's
ground.
upside down, right,
When it's
or on the
upside down,
ground.
that's a sign of disrespect.
Right. Or you burn it,
Yeah.
it or something like that.
Mhm.
That's a sign. That's just a sign of just straight disrespect.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, but that Duke, I went and looked because me and Reno were talking about it. Reno said that there was another Duke, so I was like, "Oh, let me go with this other Duke," because I really don't want to take this one out this pack. I want to hang it on the wall with my Destro,
What are they pissed
my
about?
Scarlet, my Lady J. Like I want to hang the card back because they look dope. And so
Yeah.
Reno was like, "Oh, it's another one you could go get." And we had like a whole like half-hour conversation about it. He was like, "Yeah, they made this with it." I was like, "Word." Man, I sat down at my computer, man. I had a large drink. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this Duke. Man, I'm sitting there. I'm like, why? I can't find this Duke, man. It was just the one kept coming up. And then there's a motorcycle. There's
The Tiger Force Duke.
the Tiger Force. Yeah, he comes with this colorful motorcycle, which I didn't like either. I was like, why is this motorcycle like a rainbow? He's on this rainbow bike. I was
It's
like, what is this?
Tiger
Ain't G.I.
Force.
Joe?
Yeah, it's Tiger Force, man. I don't
Bro,
care about
that's-
Tiger. I
Nah,
passed
I
on all
never
the,
never
this is
did.
the only Duke I bought. I passed on all the Dukes because they just didn't feel like Duke. They didn't look like Duke. Because again, I'm buying them because I don't have the O-ring toys. I'm buying them because I want to get the toys that look like the O-ring toys. So if they don't look like the O-rings, it does nothing for me. If it doesn't look like the 80s
Now,
figure.
here's a question that I have. Being that they're coming out with the Dr. Mindbender retro with the Cobra on the cape in the back.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Getting that.
Yeah.
What? Getting
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Getting that. That's because Dr. Mindbender is one of my favorite Cobra figures. Like,
yeah, that's one I'm
certain
dying
Cobra
to get.
figures I gotta have. Like I just loved when I was a kid. Dr. Mindbender was one of them. The Bat was another one.
I wish I
like the
had two,
Tomax and
bro. I wish
Zayma.
I had two.
Yeah, I thought they was dope. I thought they was
Reno
super.
came
And the
through.
Dreadnought.
Reno came through with the ninja move. He was like, "Yo, you know, and,
Nah,
you
so
know,
I'm
I'm
gonna
getting,
get one.
I'm getting
I'm
rid of
gonna
my.
get one.
I'm making my epic trade. I told you guys, I'm making that epic trade now.
Yeah.
Setting it up.
He's
getting
moving
it
away
going.
from classified. He's going straight O-ring.
Yeah,
You going straight O-ring from now on? Permanent?
O-ring, man.
I mean, are you doing it because you know it's more of your passion?
Yo, grab
and you
in the
can get
building.
more?
Peace, Grab Lover.
Grab lover.
Yeah,
Yo, grab what up?
I'm doing the
Yeah.
O-ring because I have mostly all of what I had when I was younger in O-ring.
Right.
And I can world build better and do better dioramas is what I want to do now with my collection. Really make it talk in a sense. With the 6-inch action figures, I can't do that. I gotta wait 40 more years to accumulate what I got already.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I see.
you know what I mean? I probably
Yeah.
got a good 50 years left, I'm not gonna waste all that chasing these guys. You know what I mean? So,
Word.
you know what I mean? I'd rather just get with the O's and I'm straight. You
I
know.
feel you. I feel you.
Okay. Nothing wrong with
Word up.
Now see, I'm the
There it is.
opposite. I'm going classified. I can't chase the O's, man. Had them
Yeah.
once,
Crap,
I should have kept them.
man.
Ain't nothing, man. Just
Crap.
saw that it was your last show, so I just wanted to come in and say peace and thank you for your service. You know, that's it, really. Oh, April Fools.
Thank you for coming, dog. Yo, that's what's up, though.
That's
Nah,
what we
but
got.
that's
That's what we got to do to get you on here. That's
what it
what we
takes.
got to do to get you on here.
Nah,
That's so cool.
man. Thank you for coming, though. Anyway, but yeah, it was April Fools, man. We had to do something special for the first, man. But
You good? You
we're
good?
not going nowhere.
I do suggest this though. I have a documentary that I would like for folks to check out. It's called Theft of the Gods, and
Word.
it's a colon, and then it says superheroes.
Okay.
It talks about like the origin of where superheroes, where the idea of it came from, where the concept of it came from, is
Right.
based on an African and Egyptian origin. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
a really, really, really dope documentary. It breaks down Superman and breaks down Krypton, and the way he breaks down Superman and Krypton is so ill, yo.
Because the symbol on the S on the chest is
it's on
actually the
two-
snake
it's
symbol.
act- and it's actually on Tubi. I know people be like, hating on Tubi and saying,
No, I like Tubi. Stop it.
I
Tubi
rock with the
Tubi
documentaries.
gave me my cable. Yeah, Tubi is what's up, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Tubi.
I
Pluto
just have-
TV too.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
Pluto TV made a big come up.
okay. Theft of the Black Gods, the superheroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Theft of the Black Gods. Yeah.
Definitely peeping
Yeah,
that
I'm
out.
definitely gonna peep that out. Yeah.
Yeah, let
check
me.
it out, man. It's really, really, really beautiful documentary. It's really dope.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely.
love
peep that.
documentaries too, man. I love
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, I love
Absolutely.
documentaries too, man. Did you see?
that.
I just watched one on Netflix. Did you see the one on Netflix? Grab the octopus. What is it called? The Octopus Files or something. Did you see that, John?
Oh yeah. The I did see
but I didn't get to get into it yet. But it looks good too. Yeah,
about like a spy dude or something.
it's like this.
No, it's
reporter
about
who's
it's
breaking down this like secret network, and he ended up getting
he
killed.
breaking down the and Grab, you should know you older, well not because some people get offended when you say things. So I'm gonna try to word it in a way
I'm
like
older, I know.
anytime when you became a man and aware of the world, that was around the time of when Reagan was in office and the Iran Contra scandals and all that. That's when Reagan and them
Oh yeah,
was
American
given. That's when Reagan and
conspiracy
them. Right, they talk about how Reagan and them actually pushed an agenda. Reagan and Bush pushed an agenda to sell drugs in order to keep communism out of the United States, but they sacrificed a whole race of people and their well-being in doing so, which was
we
the
know
crack
that.
epidemic.
Yeah, that's the crack
Right.
epidemic.
But they
know
break it down. Yeah, they break it down and they go into it because you got a lot of people say that don't exist.
Yeah, they use the CIA.
Yeah, they talk about how the CIA.
Yeah, who was the head of the
it was
CIA?
this one dude.
Who's senior?
It was this one dude on there. He was so bold.
Rick Ross.
He said it. He said it straight up. He said, "Listen," he said, "if they wanted us to kill somebody, they just told us. We just went and did it." And he said, "Look," he said, "we was selling drugs, like he said he got caught selling drugs, red-handed, cold-blooded." And he said he was sitting in the police station and they trying to process him, and the CIA came and got him, and it was like, "Yeah, we got him." And they was like, "What do you mean you got him?" It was like, "We got it from here." He said they took him, got him outside the police station, gave him all his effects, car keys and everything, and said, "Listen, call us tomorrow. We'll take care of that other thing and get your drugs back." Yeah. He said 24 hours later, I had all my stuff. I was good. And he said it was just so, like he said himself talking now, looking back at it, it was so brazenly bold that he couldn't believe it. And he just ran with it. He was like, I just couldn't believe. Yeah.
Just like Bill Clinton's brother was
Mm-hmm.
bringing in things from out there to Arkansas. Why you think President Clinton? Yo, they're ruthless.
Yeah. The Enron joint. Yeah, the Enron joint. Yeah. Because remember, KRS had a rhyme he used to say, Remember, he used to be like, Nancy Reagan, yes, that hoe, tells our children just say no. While Reagan and the boys be flying in the dope, the Reagan posse will never go broke. Remember, he used to always say that on, and that was
And
true.
George Bush Sr. will always call Bill Clinton one of his sons.
Mm.
Yeah,
They go on fishing
yeah.
trips.
You
And
know,
everything.
George
That's
Bush was a
Skull and
skull,
Bones
right?
shit.
You know, he's
That's
a,
the
you
Skull
know,
and
you know,
Bones
George
shit.
Bush
All
was
of
a,
them. All
They
of
all
them.
yeah, you know,
Skull and
George
Bones.
Bush was a
Yeah.
skull, right?
They all
He,
Skull and Bones.
yeah,
You have
you know,
to be
George
very
Bush
They're
is
all
also,
related. Yeah.
Yeah.
check this out. You know, George Bush is also one of the people that was directly involved with stealing Geronimo's skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George Bush Sr., Herbert W. Yeah, he was
That's
one of the people that actually went and stole it.
That skull that's in that Skull and Bones logo.
Yeah.
It's another
Yeah.
documentary
Yes.
y'all got a peep called Lakota Nation versus United States.
Oh yeah.
It just came out. It's dope.
Mm.
Did it?
Yeah,
What's it on
there's a
Netflix?
lot of crazy stuff that's now coming to light. Like
Mhm.
people are really paying attention now, seeing how everything's interconnected
Mm-hmm.
from locally to globally. It's
Mhm.
just it's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
the,
I
that's
always
the term I
tell
wanted to use.
people, I
Grab.
always tell
That's
people,
the term I wanted to use. Grab. You were old enough to pay attention. That's the term.
power,
You old enough to
power
pay
never
attention.
diminishes or changes. It
I was
stays
in, I was
constant. It
probably
just,
like, you know, after. Oh, sorry to cut you off, brother. I was
no, it's
probably
all
like
right, bro.
anywhere between 16 and 18 when that was going on.
Mm.
That was like
Yeah.
right around. 'Cause, yeah, I remember. You know, my home. You know, dudes I knew was hustling and stuff. 87, 88. That's when
Yep.
it hit. Like
Yeah.
87 was like the peak. One of the peak
Yeah.
years. 87, 88. That's when everybody
Yep.
was getting money out there. It's just nuts.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on another note, I got my hands on a VCR.
What?
Some joints.
Stop.
Nice.
This out.
Oh,
I hate the
What?
classic. Yes.
yeah. That's that joint too, the animated joint.
Then I pulled this out.
Okay, the profession.
Ooh,
Go,
go
that is my shot right there. Glogo 13.
Go 13.
Yo, that is my
The comic, yep. Red Hawk. Okay.
Red Hawk. Red Hawk. That's a hot one.
Let's see what else I got here. Oh, this old classic. This one.
On Isaac Arch,
Yeah.
man.
Isaac Hayes
Yeah.
Turner. Yo.
This joint is
Yeah.
hilarious.
I like Chuck Turner. That's my movie right there.
You gotta get Chuck Turner. Oh,
Warriors, come out
Yeah.
and play.
Hey, and they talking about making a remake to that, man. I hope it never happens.
Nah, they not.
I hope
Nah,
it
they
never
not.
happens.
yo, I'll go.
Yeah.
It's
See,
gonna
if
be a
they
bunch
do
of
that,
drill
I'll
dudes.
go straight to Brooklyn and fuck up the set. 'Cause you know
Everybody.
for real.
Yeah, bro, you can't remake the Warriors.
Nah,
Yeah, you can't remake the Warriors.
that's the
Yeah, I got
classic.
that
Jersey
joint.
Drive.
I got that joint on this. Jersey Drive. That is my movie right there.
Yeah,
Keep
heavy.
it
That's my movie right
real,
there.
kid.
Yeah, that's my movie right there. Yeah, that's my movie right there, bro.
Oh,
House Party. That's the
Party.
classic.
Which was the best house party they ever made.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Pull it out.
Nothing
Pull it out.
compared.
The classic.
Then I got some music.
Class act.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. The video. Yeah. Fight the power.
I had that joint on VHS.
Ooh.
I need to get that on disc.
Yo, that's
I need to get that on disc. I had that on
Yo,
VHS
Wild
too.
Style.
It's from Japan.
Check this out. I never really understood Wild Style, man, when I was a kid and I was watching it.
MF doing
understood it,
a lot
man.
from that, sampled a lot from that too. And
Did he?
and Prince Paul. They
Yeah.
took a lot. They sampled a lot from that.
I never understood. I watched that movie 100 times. I never got it,
They
man.
also definitely
It's still a
has some
classic to me.
This is breaking. but I didn't.
Breaking. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on the bootleg.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Wild Style was the joint.
Yeah.
That and
My book, you made it come up, man.
Yeah.
VCR with all them joints, bro. You made it come up, bro.
Really?
I mean, because I'm into physical media. I like physical media, bro. A lot of people don't, but I'm into physical media.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Beat
I'll show
Street,
you.
all of
See it.
that.
Watch this. I'll show you.
Beat Street.
Check this out. I'll show you my collection. Watch this.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's on Tubi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Wars, yeah.
I got my
Star
collection.
Wars is on Tubi?
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
The internet goes down, I'm still watching.
That's what I'm talking about. I watched that the other day. Star Wars on Tubi.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Word.
Yeah, you gotta have your
Get busy.
see something.
They was really getting up.
And I got this.
All right, sweet from timeless, sweet for my Dukes. Okay.
Yeah. You ever seen this?
No, I have not.
Oh man, this is a tribute to Dilla from with Miguel Atwood Ferguson and the orchestra.
Okay. I'm gonna get into that right there.
Yeah.
Try to find it. It might be
check these.
on YouTube by now.
Okay.
It's a pretty
Yeah,
old.
check these joints out, Grab.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Oh yeah, you got joints. My little, I can't even get to them because my phone is on the charger.
Oh, there you go.
Check this out. You gonna really like these joints, right? You see all them right there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't want to style out now.
Well, let me flex a little bit.
Cause I had a lot of them on. I had to replace my whole collection. I had to go from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, man. It's hard, man. But I still got some VHSs.
This joint right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This version of this movie, I got it in Japan. This version of it has the original records that Grandmaster Flash was cutting on it. You can't find another version with it now. They done bleeped it out and changed the beat and all of that.
Oh, that's
this
wild.
has him cutting up. Yeah. God Made Me Funky and Take Me to the Mardi Gras. This has him on here doing that.
Dope.
Yeah, I watched it the other day. I was like, oh, it got the original beat on there. Oh, nah, I gotta keep this. Keep that.
Everybody pulling out their collection. I might have to go into my Kung Fu and anime collection.
Yeah,
it's a whole other space, man.
Yeah.
Nah, actually, y'all, we gotta call it a night because I was gonna wrap it up before Grap came in, but he came in, man. So
I was just coming to say peace and salute and all of that.
Man.
Y'all got me off the Duke.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Y'all better stay blessed. I'm at 3% anyway on my phone, so I'm gonna hop off, man. Y'all better stay blessed.
You too.
You're welcome anytime, man.
Peace.
Definitely stay up.
All right.
Word.
Peace.
But yeah, y'all. Shout out to EGC, man. It was an April Fool's joke. I'm gonna have to change the fucking thing on the thing. But yes, we're doing April Fool's. We just fucking off. We ain't going nowhere.
With my favorite, one of my favorites, Mr. T. That's
April Fools. Yeah, man. We'll see y'all Saturday. Have a good week. Be safe.
Be
safe. I mean, and yeah, man, we're not going nowhere, man. We're going strong, man. We'll see you guys this weekend, Saturday, for DC Power Hour. Every Saturday, and you know what? We might change the time. I think we're gonna do 6:30 we're gonna start at 6:30 every Monday and Saturday. So just keep an eye out, man. And as always, man, we'll be here. Slade, man, we appreciate you guys and everybody else in the building, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.
Peace.